Well, welcome. The December 3rd, 2025 regular meeting of the Downey Planning Commission will now come to order. Commissioners, if you please rise, or everybody please rise, and join us on there. Sir, Mr. Cycling, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes, of course. Hand over your heart. Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Commissioner Lujan, would you lead us in prayer, please, sir?
Whoever please bow your heads. Dear Lord, we ask you to help us now, the Planning Commission here tonight, to come together and work through all of these items in our agenda so that we can make some good decisions for our community, help us and guide us. And we ask you this through our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Planning Commission Secretary Rhea, would you please read the roll?
Yes. Commissioner Lujan?
Present.
Commissioner Sakali?
Present.
Commissioner Legaspi?
Present.
Vice Chair Uva?
Present.
And Chair Guerra?
Here. We made a joke last night at the cemetery meeting. Everybody there said here, and now the new trend is present. I get it. Let's go. Anyways, it's good to see everyone. This is the time set aside for oral communication from the Planning Commission. Does any commissioners wish to make an announcement, report on a conference meeting, or request any items for future agenda? I'll start off, Mr. Lujan.
None for me, sir.
Mr. Cycling?
I have none, sir.
Ms. Uva?
None for me.
I have none, sir.
Okay. I don't have any other communication except that I did visit all three locations. We have three public hearings today, so I did visit all three of them extensively over the last couple of days. And when you guys, everybody out there, because we're still on the clock, when they think that our jobs are sexy, okay, and you get this delivered on a Wednesday to read for today's meeting on there, it doesn't make it very sexy. So with leftover turkey, most of us were reading that on Friday here. So, but I did visit all three sites, and I wanted to report that out. Does the Community Development Director have a report on City Council action or any other general updates?
I have none tonight, Chair.
Okay, great. So now we will go into our agenda, and now is the time set aside for public hearing. Our first public hearing, PLN 23-00143. There's the Planning Commission Secretary Rhea have proof of publication.
Yes, I do.
That's great. Will the Community Development Director introduce staff making the presentation?
Thank you, Chair Guerra. Tonight's presentation for the first item is our Senior Planner, Abraham Luna, and we have a PowerPoint presentation for you tonight. Thank you.
Great. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Chair Guerra, Vice Chair Uva, members of the Planning Commission, members of the public. The first item on today's agenda is PLN 23-00141 for 9440 and 9454 Imperial Highway for a new In-N-Out Burger restaurant. The request from the applicant is to demolish an existing baking building of 6,311 square feet and the request of a site plan review for the construction of a new 3,887 square foot building and a conditional use permit for the operation for the drive-thru restaurant and outdoor seating. The lot is composed of two properties, one at the corner of Imperial Highway and Bellflower Boulevard, shown in red, and to the adjacent property, 9440 Imperial, shown in blue. The combined area of the lots are 2.35 acres. In-N-Out is only leasing 1.7 acres on the site, and that area is shown in a transparent purple. And that's located right above that yellow line on the image. The combined area of the two lots is 2.35 acres. The project site has an existing vacant building that has been vacant for more than a decade, which will be demolished as part of this project. The previous land use was a child care facility named Carousel Preschool and Infant Center. The project site is surrounded by various land uses. To the west and north, we have Kaiser facilities. To the west is the fulfillment center for the pharmacy, and to the north is the Orchid Medical Building for Kaiser. to the.
Can I ask a quick question on that? Only on the Kaiser Fulfillment Center, on there, that's not open to the public per se, is it? I went by there today and it looks like it's fenced in, I think, or they have to come in the other way, but I don't think you can just come in there?
No, I believe it's all fulfillment center, so it's for shipping, not for the public.
Great, thank you, sir.
To the east, we have other drive-through businesses such as Starbucks, Jack in the Box, and the Restaurant of Stocks, and a multi-tenant commercial building, and single-family residential properties. To the south, directly adjacent to the property, is another multi-tenant building, a parking lot, and the restaurant of Lucky Burgers. The property is split zoned, so it's zone C2, general commercial, and M2, general manufacturing. The general plan designation on the right for the site is shown as CM, commercial manufacturer. And although the zoning and the general plan land use designation of the property are inconsistent, the use is allowed in both the C2 and M2 zone, aligning with the intent of the commercial manufacturer designation. And here are existing site conditions from Bellflower Boulevard and Imperial Highway. And here are additional photos from within the property, one facing Imperial Highway, and you see that orchid building for Kaiser on the left, and you see the proposed building to be demolished on the right. And as stated earlier, the project site consists of two properties, 9440 and 9454 Imperial Highway. In-N-Out will lease from the property owner the entirety of 9454 Imperial, which is the corner property in red, and the portion of 9440 Imperial. Both properties will remain separate, but they will be held together through a lot type covenant. The lot type covenant will be recorded with the LA County Recorder's Office. In addition, the south portion of 9440 will remain a parking lot as it currently is. The restaurant and outdoor dining and the trash enclosure will all remain within 9440 Imperial. And you could briefly see that in gray on the right image. So for site clarification, the parking lot that's located within 9440 has a primary driveway which is accessed from Imperial Highway, and you can see that shown on the X on the screen. Right now it is fenced off, but that is a driveway for access. Since In-N-Out is leasing that portion of the property, the driveway will be removed, leaving only access from the parking lot to the parking lot from the driveway of 12757 Bellflower Boulevard. And that can be seen with the red arrows shown on the screen.
Can you go back to the previous photo, please? Question, if I may. On the 9440 Imperial Highway, there appears to be like an alley or some kind of a driveway through. With the opening on Imperial Highway, is that correct? And that's not part of this, or is it?
So it is part of it. So if I go to the next picture, you can still see that same outline. The X on the top of the screen is where that driveway currently is located. So that, because it's being leased by In-N-Out, that driveway will be removed.
Okay.
Okay. So access to that parking lot, which is not grayed out on the lower half of the blue outline, that is still accessed through the arrows, which you can see on the bottom right corner. So both of those sites, 12757 Bellflower, which is in yellow, and 9440 Imperial will also have another lot type covenant holding those two properties as one to still remain or provide that access. As part of this project, there will be off-site improvements, which I will go into further detail later in this presentation. The two off-site improvements will be a dedication off of Imperial Highway, which you can see in the diagonal hatch on the top. And that is approximately 450 square feet. And the improvement of a de-acceleration lane on Bellflower Boulevard. The Bellflower improvement is not considered a dedication since the city has already purchased this portion of the property in 2015 when the city was conducting street widening improvements.
Didn't, the city took that corner a couple feet right before that too, in eminent domain, right? On the corner, we bought that off of them?
I believe it was through eminent domain for that intersection,
2013, yeah.
along with other property acquisitions for the other properties at that intersection. Yeah.
I'm an anti-eminent domain person, but that made sense there. I voted on that, so. Would you rather we let you finish and not interrupt you, or just get the questions out of the way?
I don't mind
Okay,
questions
good.
or no
Thank you.
questions. Yeah,
It's just harder to come back 10 slides later, so thank you.
it's not a problem. So the construction of a new restaurant is required to satisfy both the C2 and the M2 development standards because of the split zone. So the table shows compliance with those development standards. And before I go through each development standard, I would like to point out that some of these standards in the staff report were written incorrectly. So those are shown in red. The red is what is accurate at this time. So lot coverage, the maximum is 50%, and the property proposes 6.6%. That includes both or all structures, which is the restaurant, the outdoor dining, and the trash enclosure. For building height maximums, 3 stories is a max. The project proposes 1 story at 23.5 feet. Required landscaping is significantly given with the maximum or the minimum of 10%, and the project proposes 16.4%. And that's provided at the perimeter of the site and significantly in the parking lot of In-N-Out. In addition, all the setbacks are compliant. Minimum setbacks for Bellflower and Imperial are 15 feet. The project provides 146 on Bellflower and then 206 on Imperial. No setback is required for a side yard when abutting a commercial property, another commercial property. So those setbacks are not required, but they provide 2 feet. In addition to the rear setback, 15 feet is required and 20 feet for the M2 zone. 66 feet is provided. Same for parking, 46 stalls are required. The project proposes 74 stalls, 4 accessible and 6 EV charging spaces. Queuing, our code reads for a total of 8 cars, so 4 before the order menu, and 4 between the order menu and the pick-up window. And the proposed is 32 cars. And a trash enclosure is required, which they do provide at 584 square feet.
Can I ask you, in the 32 cars in the queue, so how many, besides the same, how many can be inside that parking lot at any one time? That's obviously everybody's concern.
Yeah, so at the time of the plans that were submitted to staff, they did not show that, but however, I know In-N-Out did provide some slides after our presentation.
Okay, great.
Those slides, I believe, show 59 spaces within the parking lot.
Could you also tell us, how does this compare to Lakewood and Firestone?
I will cover that later on, but to answer your question very quickly, the project on Lakewood and Firestone was approved for 14 queuing stalls, and that's within the actual drive-through, not throughout the site.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's 14 and this is 32?
Correct.
That's great.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
So the building uses contemporary modern architecture style to keep the signature In-N-Out look. The building will have a varying roof height with parapets ranging from 19 feet to about 24 feet. And varying roof heights will allow the rooftop mechanical equipment to be screened from public view. Additional elements including red awnings over the windows and the red brick wainscot at the base of the building, which wraps around the entire building to contrast the company's milk glass stucco color.
Mr. Luna, if I may ask, so $1 million question, where would the iconic signage go?
So we did preliminarily receive a signed package. That'll be at the corner. I imagine you're
Right.
thinking like the X
That's
bombs
correct,
and-
yes.
So that'll be at the corner, at the intersection. So at the corner of Bellflower and Imperial.
Okay. Thank you.
And these are additional color elevations. So highlighted in red in the middle on the top image is the primary entrance that is facing Imperial Highway. The west elevation facing the Kaiser Pharmacy Fulfillment Center also has another entrance.
Can I ask another question? I'm sorry, I think, so this is 3,890 square
Right.
feet. How big square footage-wise is Firestone and Lakewood, just to get the visual?
Ooh, I don't have a number actually. Maybe our
Maybe the
applicant
applicant can
does.
tell
Yeah.
us out there, yeah, at that point.
So the elevations for the south and east, which is where the driveway wraps around. So the south elevation has the pavement window, and the east elevation has the pickup window. Moving on to landscaping. A variety of landscaping will be part of this project's landscape palette. The site will have approximately 37 added trees from 5 different species and approximately 52 palm trees from 3 different species, in addition to the native and drought-tolerant plants and shrubs. A majority of the landscaping will be at the perimeter of the site and within the parking lot areas, improving the curb appeal from the corner of Bellflower and Imperial. And moving on to the drive-through, the project will have a double-lane drive-through that funnels into a 1 at the order menu board towards the south end of the image. The drive-through will accommodate 32 cars within the drive-through lanes, which is sufficient based on the QE analysis that was part of the traffic impact study. And that was submitted by the applicant and reviewed by the Plan Division and our Public Works Department.
So can I ask you, this is my favorite visual here that I got, and I kept coming back to it, and I'd met with the staff on this. So turning right, if you're coming down, and if you're going eastbound on Imperial, you turn right on Bellflower. So all that gray there, that's a queue line, if you will. In other words, if you go straight out, where this says Imperial Highway sign, that's the street, Bellflower Boulevard. But that first lane there, that's part of a queue, if you will, to go in there?
Right, so we call it a deceleration or a dedicated right turn in
Yeah.
lane, and that's dedicated for turning into the project site, yes.
Okay, but the one on the top there, where it says site entrance on there, that one's not as big, right? That's only, if you're going eastbound on Imperial Highway, you can turn in there, there's a few cars if the queue is backed up, right?
Correct, and that entrance does have 2 entries. So there's one, if you look at the arrows where it says site entrance, one is for the drive-through, I mean, and then the other is to enter the project site. So if there is queuing issues, access is still available. However, we do have conditions of approval that state that all queuing must remain on site, and knowing in and out the operation that they do, they manage to queue as much as they can on site. And the presentation that the applicant does have shows what they
Perfect, thank you.
propose in that.
And now both exits, you cannot turn left on, right? Because there's mediums on both streets, on Imperial and
Right,
on
you-
Bellflower.
you cannot turn left,
So you cannot
no.
turn left, I have to be right. Thank you so much.
So the QE analysis mentioned in the previous slide analyzed 18 existing locations throughout California with data from 2021 and on. Some cities mentioned were Huntington Beach, Daly City up north, Huntington Park, and Inglewood. The average queuing between all locations was 25 vehicles on Saturday, and accommodating for the 85th percentile of the study showed the queuing to be 30 vehicles. Given the data showed during the peak times 30 cars were queued, the project provides 32 cars, therefore accommodating the expected peak demand. The existing in-and-out location, as referenced, was not part of the 18 locations studied. However, the traffic consultant did provide that queuing data, which was taken on September 26, 2024. The average queuing was 27 vehicles on Saturday, and at its 85th percentile, 32 vehicles were queued at the existing Downey location. And for reference, the existing location was approved for only 14 vehicles.
Wow, that's a big difference.
And that 14 vehicles, if you could follow my laser on the screen on the right, that's 14 right there where the transition between concrete and asphalt is. So 14 is not at the entrance, 14 is just where that laser point is.
Is that building on the right-hand side, the red roof, is that before, when that was the Parking Company of America, or is this after the Parking Company of America?
So
was
this
bought?
is existing.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Because that whole top of it, of that parking lot, that was Parking Company of America that they bought it and tore down to make it.
Right, so that did expand the queuing from, I believe, 9 spaces
Yeah.
prior to the now 14, yeah. The traffic impact analysis conducted follows guidelines by the City of Downey and LA County Public Works guidelines. The traffic analysis includes 4 components: the analysis of existing traffic conditions, the project trip generation, the level of service, and the queuing analysis. And it's important to mention that In-N-Out is not open during the AM peak hour. For level of service, the traffic impact analysis studied the existing conditions to operate at the acceptable level of C, with the added trip generation from the project, which is an additional 2,878 trips during weekday times and 2,903 trips on Saturdays. The level of service for the intersection of Imperial and Bellflower changes from C to D, which still operates at the acceptable level. To conduct this analysis, the consultant collected peak hour volumes in March 2024. And with this data, the project showed, with this data projected how the intersection studied in the vicinity will perform with the additional flow of the new project. So in relation to the queuing analysis, the off-site improvements will be required along both street frontages of Imperial Highway and Bellflower. The Imperial Highway improvement involved a roadway dedication of approximately 450 square feet to accommodate the extension of the existing deceleration lane. Extension of this lane will accommodate right turns into the site without impacting traffic flow from Imperial Highway, specifically the right turn onto Bellflower.
Mr. Luna, if I may, the Bellflower Boulevard improvement, about 4,000 square feet. According to the one of the plan sheets, shows like a cross gutter 6 feet wide, and new sidewalk and new lighting, right?
Right.
So how is that going to mitigate the traffic impact?
I'm sorry, so the improvements of the,
How is the offsite improvement would mitigate any traffic impact if you're driving southbound on Bellflower Boulevard? And what is that going to do to the traffic when you have an overflow? So what is that 6 feet, what is that going to do to the impact of the flow going to the restaurant?
so essentially this dedication on Bellflower will, not dedication, just street improvement on Bellflower will add a 3rd lane on Bellflower South, right? So that lane adjacent to the project site, that's now only a right-hand turn in into the project site. The 2 existing lanes on Bellflower will still remain for, traffic flow to flow south on Bellflower. The traffic impact study did say 75% of the traffic coming to the site is off of Bellflower. So if that's the majority where the site, vehicles are accessing the site, we want to not impact the traffic flow on Bellflower.
So you said there will be a 3rd traffic lane coming down south along Bellflower Boulevard?
Yeah, only for that portion that is shown on Bellflower, yeah. After the project site, it does transition back into the 2-lane.
Okay, thank you.
Could you go back like 3 or 4? This is, I keep looking at this one. And this is PC10, there you go, okay. I think, Mr. Cycli, I had concerns on that too, and I think that's what this part here, see, that's where you can turn right on Bellflower from that, and then you can get into a separate queue, so it doesn't disrupt traffic, if you will. That was one of my concerns too.
Yeah, I think I might have a better image later on too to better explain that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the other improvement would be on Bellflower Boulevard, which we just discussed. That was previously acquired back in 2015. Bellflower Boulevard will be improved by creating a de-acceleration lane, which will be an exclusive right turn lane into the project site from Bellflower. Without this lane, vehicles queuing onto the site with forced motorists traveling southbound on Bellflower to change lanes at the intersection to avoid the queuing of the vehicles. In addition, the added third lane would provide adequate width for northbound U-turns at the intersection.
Sure, how many cars could be in that queue there on the right side?
In the
In the
Bellflower,
red part there? Turn-
you know what, we didn't get a number.
Okay.
10, maybe I would say 10 vehicles.
We have to take a look, we didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Well, I didn't hear that.
We didn't analyze how many vehicles would fit into that area.
Chair,
Well, how long
Chair,
is it?
we can answer that question if you give us a few minutes. We can maybe have that answer towards the end of the presentation.
You just simply take that length of that, divide it by 20, that'll give you approximately how many
Yeah,
park-
we'll go
cars,
ahead. We
right?
have our city engineering team member, Tim, in the audience, and so he'll give us the number in just a few minutes. If I can also emphasize what Senior Planner Luna is explaining is the deceleration lane allows, typically vehicle behavior, driver behavior is that when somebody's wanting to turn right into any property, they slow down to make the turn. So having the third lane, if you will, as Abraham is explaining, allows that slowing of that vehicle to not impede the other two lanes that are going full speed ahead. So that's one of the key benefits of the deceleration lane. The other key benefit that he just explained was when somebody is, on this case, going northbound on Bellflower Avenue, and decides they want to get a burger and a shake, they make a U-turn to go southbound. When there's only two lanes, then they're impeding that second lane, and maybe if they are not experienced, they start making three-point turns. So by having that deceleration lane, that extra distance, it gives any vehicles making a U-turn that extra space to not impede the other two vehicular lanes going southbound. So again, those are the two primary key benefits of the deceleration lane. The third one, we hope, is not used for queuing, but in the event that there's something big going on, people are really wanting to go to this site, there is that benefit of not having overflow impede, again, the two lanes is what we're trying to prevent. So we had a lot of conversations about this, so we're really happy that the design team was able to work this out and provide this proposal.
So that length we just measured, it's about 180 feet, so that's 9 cars. Yeah. So moving on to the business operations, it now has a company-wide operating hour of 9:30 a.m. to 1 a.m., Sunday to Thursday, and then 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Staff does not foresee any impacts to the adjacent residents, which are southeast of the project site. The nearest residential property is 135 feet from the project boundary and 250 feet from any queuing areas.
It's a nothing burger.
And this image kind of shows what I was saying earlier. You can see the black lanes on Bellflower. Those are 2, and then you can see the outline of the new proposed project site. So in addition to the analysis conducted for the project, the city must make findings for no net loss. No net loss relates to the impact on housing development allocated by the housing element, which was adopted in 2022. So the 2 sites for this project site are part of our RENA numbers, which is what we're required to do for housing. The city must prove that there is sufficient surplus units to absorb the loss of these 2 sites not being developed as housing. The combined total of the units lost for these sites is 70 very low income units, and the city has a total of 546 surplus units with no net loss, plus other project sites that have been developed as commercial. The city still has a surplus of 388 units to accommodate the loss, satisfying the findings for no net loss. The project was reviewed by our DRC committee, which is our Development Review Committee. Other conditions were placed by Public Works related to the off-site improvements to mitigate any queuing impacts. and the fire department to relocate 2 existing fire hydrants, both on Imperial and Bellflower Boulevard. The project was category exempt from CEQA under the Class 3 exemption for commercial properties that do not exceed 10,000 square feet. A public notice was published in the Downey Patriot and sent to all property owners and tenants on November 20th. No opposition was received for the project. And in conclusion, the staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve resolution number 254056 with the revised conditions of approval. And I forgot to mention that we do have some revised conditions of approval which are on your dais. That changed 3 conditions in the resolution, and there is copies available for the public in the back.
All right.
That concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions. And also with me, I do have our principal engineer from Public Works, Tim Berthestel, and the applicant for In-N-Out and their traffic consultant to answer any questions.
Great, thank you.
Chair Guerra, if I may, also, the conditions of approval in the staff report have been shared with the applicant's team, and along with the revised conditions, and they are accepting the conditions. So
There's nothing really big there, yeah, great, thank you. So does anybody on the Planning Commission have any questions of staff? I know we were hitting him throughout, like we always do, so we appreciate your steady hand, sir. Okay. Anybody?
I don't have any questions, just a couple comments. Mr. Luna, great presentation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I'm personally excited. I also drove by the site, and God knows we need a second location. The Firestone location, the traffic it could use some help. So thank you for this.
Anybody else?
I have a question. So in the event there is a backup on Imperial Highway entering the restaurant going eastbound, is there any provision at all to resolve that matter?
So we have conditions of approval that require the applicant to ensure that queuing remains on site. So usually what In-N-Out does for when their peak times arrive, they'll send out staff to cone off the entrance of Imperial Highway to ensure queuing remains on site. So it'll flow throughout the project site, and I'll show that on this slide, I guess. If you look to the right screen, the entrance will be still open. However, queuing will wrap here and wrap all the way down there. Yeah.
Could you go back to some of the early slides, the land itself that was there before? So, okay, so that bottom part there where there's a parking lot and so forth. So is that new land that was there? Because I remember the long building that, we all literally took apart piece by piece there for the last 40 years. That was so ugly and terrible. But so what made this happen is that they bought more land? Because the other ones look bigger, the lot size itself.
So the lot has remained this size for as long as I did my research for, which was quite some time. So the map shown earlier showing the zoning and the general plan, that's from 2005. Okay. So the actual land itself, as you can see on blue, that's remained as is.
Okay.
It hasn't been improved recently with the parking lot. The parking lot, from my understanding, has been there for some time.
Okay. And that parking lot is not going to be there anymore? No, because the land is up on the top.
Right,
Okay.
so that parking lot will still remain. And I think this might show it a little better. It's a little bit smaller, but you see the project site and you see the remaining parking lot.
Okay. You're too young, but before you were born, that used to be a Jackal Lane gym. Believe it or not, I once went to gym, okay? I know I don't look like it anymore, but I used to go work out there, Jackal Lane, okay? And it's been gone for 45 years. It shows you how old I am. But yes.
How much was a monthly membership back then?
Oh, it was probably a couple of cheeseburgers worth, So it wasn't very much. But yeah. Anybody else, Mr. Lujan, Ms. Uva?
Just a quick question. I know that the In-N-Out on Firestone, sometimes people who are trying to eat at the restaurant have a challenging, because the queue is inside. with the queuing here in the parking lot, will it kind of avoid some of that congestion when people are trying to eat at the restaurant? rather than
Yeah,
wait?
so the 32 car spaces, the 32 vehicle queuing would not impact the rest of the parking spaces. So it doesn't create any, I guess, dead-end drive lanes. It will still remain accessible to, the whole, any patrons wishing to eat at the restaurant. And in addition, with the additional parking that they provided, they could cone off portions of the parking lot to, have the queuing flow better and still allow vehicles to park without getting trapped in by the queuing.
Because I know like the Chick-fil-A on Imperial and Lakewood sometimes gets congested, people are trying to get out and they have a challenging time there too as well. So,
Yeah.
but it looks like there's a lot more parking here.
Yeah, significant amount, yeah.
Okay. That was it.
They usually do a pretty decent job with their staff directing the cars once they get in there, right? Well, I'll ask the applicant when they get there. Okay, great. Okay, there are no further questions of staff. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Before I open the public hearing and call the applicant or the representative, this would be the time for the planning commissioners. No, we already did that. I am so sorry. Will the applicant or the representative please come forward to give testimony? I did call this before, didn't I? I called the public hearing. Yeah. Thank you. Should I do it now? I don't think I officially said that the public hearing was open, so we will officially call it. I did want to make it really tough on our city attorney in asking legal questions since it's his birthday today.
No.
I think we should make it as hard as him to have to work today and interpret things, sir. I'm teasing you, but happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
He got nervous, like, what the heck is Chair Guerra doing there? Thank you. Sir, welcome. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Happy birthday, John. Good evening, Honorable Chair and fellow planning commissioners. My name is Peter Kolmaticki, and I'm a development manager with In-N-Out Burger. I'm excited to be here this evening to propose our second location within the city of Downey. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank staff, especially Abraham Luna and Irma Huitron, for their hard work and responsiveness during the development review process. Their constant communication and coordination is truly impressive and should be recognized. I will keep my remarks brief, but I would like to spend a few moments touching on the history and culture of In-N-Out Burger before discussing our proposed project. In-N-Out Burger was founded in 1948 by Harry and Esther Snyder in Baldwin Park, California. Now more than 77 years after they opened that very first location, with over 400 stores operating in 9 states, In-N-Out is still a family-owned business. Every single In-N-Out Burger is 100% privately owned and operated. We do not franchise. Harry and Esther's granddaughter, Lindsay Snyder, is the owner and president of In-N-Out, and she continues the legacy with our core values of quality, service, and community. In-N-Out Burger operates from a clear and concise 3-pronged mission statement. This is the guiding principle that shapes everything we do. Our mission statement governs all our operations, hiring and training practices, company culture, and ensures that we stay grounded to our founding principles and values. Our motto is quality you can taste. All our food is made to order, and there isn't a single heat lamp, microwave, or freezer to be found in any of our kitchens. We are committed to only the freshest ingredients, with hamburger patties made from 100% American beef that is boned and ground from whole chucks by In-N-Out's own butchers and delivered fresh, never frozen, to each of our stores. In addition to a quality product, we are renowned for our emphasis on customer service. At In-N-Out, every customer receives service with our signature smile, and your meal will be exactly as you order it. At In-N-Out, we understand that associates are the cornerstone of our success. We foster a team-oriented atmosphere that encourages growth, provides extensive training, and ensures that every associate feels valued and supported. Glassdoor routinely names In-N-Out Burger on its annual list of best places to work in the United States. For 2025, Glassdoor named In-N-Out as the number 3 best place to work, and it was the only restaurant to be named in the top 10 places to work. This commitment translates into a positive environment that benefits not only our team, but also to the service we provide to every customer. In-N-Out Burger is proud to contribute to the economic vitality of the communities where we operate. Our second location within the city of Downey will create numerous local job opportunities, including approximately 50 or more associate positions, plus additional store management and corporate support opportunities. It will also provide competitive wages and comprehensive benefits that support career growth and stability. Beyond employment, our operations stimulate economic activity, encouraging spending and supporting nearby businesses. This economic benefit extends further as the revenue generated from our business helps support public services, infrastructure improvements, and community programs. The positive ripple effect reinforces our dedication to not just being a place where people come to dine, but a business that plays an active role in bolstering the economic health of Downey. Our investment in the city translates to sustained growth and prosperity for its residents and the wider community. Community is what has shaped In-N-Out Burger since 1948. As part of our mission statement, we are committed to assist all communities in our marketplace to become stronger, safer, and better places to work. We work with a variety of organizations seeking support with their fundraising efforts, including nonprofits, schools, youth sports, and city events, and much more. The company operates 3 foundations. The In-N-Out Burger Foundation, founded in 1984 by Esther Snyder, which focused on helping abused and neglected children. The Slave to Nothing Foundation, which was established in 2016 to help improve the lives of individuals and families affected by substance abuse and human trafficking. And also the His Eyes Foundation, established just recently in 2025 and is dedicated to bringing hope, immediate support, and sustainable solutions to those experiencing homelessness. In-N-Out Burger underwrites all of the administrative costs of these foundations so that 100% of the money raised is given back to our communities. I invite you to visit the websites for these foundations to find out more about the great things that the foundations do and why and how we support the causes that remain close to the heart of the company. These foundations support local agencies in the communities where we serve. Over the years, we have supported numerous organizations throughout the greater Downey area. From 2023 to 2025, our in-kind donations, Spirit Night fundraising, sports sponsorships, and cookouts have totaled approximately $500,000. We consider ourselves members of each and every community we operate in, and we are proud to give back in the ways that we can. With our proposed development, we are able to provide 74 parking stalls, which exceeds the city's minimum requirement of 46 spaces. The parking lot is designed with optimal circulation and no dead-end parking aisles. This additional parking allows associates and customers to park on-site, minimizing any impacts to the neighborhood. In addition, we have paid particular attention to providing spacious landscape that is evenly distributed throughout the parking lot and along our 2 major frontages, Imperial and Bellflower. Our proposed site plan has on-site dedicated drive-through queue of 32 cars. For comparison, the store on Lakewood and Firestone has a 13-car dedicated queue. This proposed store is on a significantly larger site with a longer dedicated queue. Our traffic study surveyed 19 existing stores in California, including the one on Lakewood and Firestone. Of the 19 sample sites, 85% of the stores had an 85th percentile drive-through queue that did not exceed 30 vehicles. Of those stores surveyed, the maximum queue length at the 95th percentile was 34 cars. The project has a proposed dedicated storage capacity of 32 vehicles with the ability to accommodate 4 additional vehicles between the dedicated drive-through lane and the north entrance on Imperial Highway, bringing the on-site queuing capacity to 36 vehicles. In addition, In-N-Out has developed a very sophisticated system that has been implemented in new stores to speed up queue movement during peak times. Our queue management system begins when the stack reaches the menu board at car 10. At this stage, associates are deployed with handheld devices to take orders outside. Awareness of the queue reaching the 10th car is enhanced with outdoor cameras and indoor monitors. There will be between 4 and 6 outdoor cameras on site, with 3 or 4 of them specifically viewing the drive-through lane. These exterior cameras display on multiple monitors located inside the restaurant, including the manager's office, above the grills, and at both the pay and pickup windows. If the queue were to extend past the dedicated queue length, additional associates are deployed to manage the queue and traffic on site. This restaurant will be equipped with 3 burger grills. 2 grills will operate at all times. Activation of the 3rd grill will be done in response to high dine-in or more typically high drive-through demand, as activating the 3rd grill significantly increases the speed at which drive-through orders are delivered to customer vehicles. To avoid any disruption to surrounding roadways, we have overstacking capacity of up to approximately 59 vehicles on site. With these practices and site design, we were intentional about minimizing impacts to the neighborhood and getting our customers onto our site as efficiently as possible. The City of Downey's mission statement is proudly committed to continuously improving the quality of life for the Downey community by providing excellent service in a professional, ethical, and responsible manner. At In-N-Out, we share in the vision of Downey, and our project will support these goals while upholding our shared values. We provide safe, attractive, and family-friendly restaurants. With high-quality ingredients, excellent customer service, and meticulous attention to cleanliness, we create an inviting space where families and friends can gather for a meal. The 2030 Downey Strategic Plan includes goals for fiscal responsibility and economic vibrancy. This store would be our 2nd location in Downey and contribute to the city's strategic plan. We are committed to being a trusted and supportive partner to this community. From our thoughtful design to our job creation and community partnerships, the future is truly unlimited. Thank you.
What year was your first store opened?
1948.
No, I'm sorry, the first one in Downey.
The first one in Downey, I'd have to ask my team.
2010?
No, about 40 years. Hell, maybe not quite that.
No, the one in Downey was about,
Remodeled it 12 years ago.
yeah.
The addition of that 12 years.
It was in the 90s.
No, the one in Downey on Lakewood, in fact, oh no, that was definitely in 2010 or so. It wasn't,
Remodeled in 2010, 2012.
Yeah, remodeled.
no, when you guys opened, I was on the council, and that was from 2006 to 2014. So, and the only reason I want to tell you this, because we used to go to ICSC and beg you guys to come, okay? Every year. I went 3 or 4 years in a row, and then you finally opened that one there. You had a problem. You guys were victims of your own success, especially when you first opened up, not only with the parking lot and the cars there, but there was a phenomenon that people ate a lot of cheeseburgers. So you had Friday night football games, and there was 1 million kids, especially the first 6 months. So the trash cans would fill up and it would go, and the wind would take it, and it would blow 2 blocks away. There was a neighborhood there that came to the council meeting a couple of times, like, what is this? I want to tell you, In-N-Out, being a corporate citizen, your manager came and stood right there and says, we will handle this. And every night, especially on weekends, when your store closed, you sent 2 employees 2 blocks away to pick up the paper so the residents wouldn't wake up the next morning with the papers on there. So I've always looked at that fondly, and I just wanted to, you probably have never heard that story, but I wanted you guys to know that. So
I'll remember it forever now.
I've always respected that, and that was something pretty good. But no, you guys opened when I was on the council. 1996, okay, see, there you go. So thank you. And then it just got bigger, and you bought the stores next to it, and you bought the parking lot next to it, everything else. So thank you. Any questions from my fellow commissioners?
No, just a question to the applicant. What is the cost of the construction?
I wouldn't want to guess on construction costs. I could tell you that the offsite improvements total about $500,000, but venture to guess, construction amounts, I would just be guessing multi-millions.
And sir, approximately, when do you see breaking ground if it was to be approved tonight? And roughly when would you like to open up? What would be your goal?
If approved this evening, we'd move right into construction drawings. That process takes a couple of months. We'd then go straight into plan check, and then that would be some back and forth between us and the city of Downey and any other approving agencies. We'd go straight into construction, and our construction timeline is approximately 9 to 12 months.
Excellent, thank you.
So maybe by this time next year.
I'm
Geez,
hoping so.
Great. So, and now that corner there, I guess this is more for staff really fast on there. Starbucks, Kaiser, and Jack in the Box have expressed, I guess that's the next question, have they expressed any concerns, thoughts, or we've been in communication with them?
Since we sent the notices, no opposition was received by staff, no.
Okay. Now, I've always known too that that land is owned by the Downey Land Company. They don't sell the land. That's one of the reasons Kaiser didn't want to expand on that corner on there. So I assume you guys have like a 100-year lease or something? Or are you allowed to say it as a
We're
proprietor?
committed to being in the city of Downey, so.
Okay, all right, never mind. That answers the questions because Starbucks does not own their land and neither does Kaiser or Jack in the Box there on that same corner. So, okay. Any other questions on there? Yes, ma'am.
Couple questions. Is there inside dining room seating?
Yes.
Okay. About how many?
84 seats and 28 outdoor seating.
Okay, and the one on Lakewood is not 84. It's nowhere near
No,
that,
and
right?
that question came up earlier as to the square footage of the Lakewood store. It's approximately 3,000 square feet, while this one's 3,887, so larger.
25% more, yeah.
And do you find that most of In-N-Out's business comes from drive-through and not in dining, eating?
It's a mix. We love to have our customers come in, but it's just a mix. There are instances where people utilize the drive-through and not wake up the baby in the car seat, and there are other instances where friends want to gather and have a meal together and some laughs.
Great, and thank you for your presentation and the background and the motto and the different organizations that you support. That was very, very touching, very nice.
Appreciate it.
I just want to say thank you as well for, starting a second one, knowing there's a lot of options in Downey, and still you're taking a chance here with Downey, and so we appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Cycli, anything for you, sir?
I'm sorry?
Anything additional from you?
No, no further.
Okay, great. Mr. Lega, so thank you. We appreciate you coming in, and we'll make sure that St. John Bosco, a block away from you guys on there, you're going to be getting a lot of those after their football games too. So thank you.
Thank you.
Was staff confirmed there's been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
No correspondence was received.
Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or opposition to the applicant on this? Yes, ma'am, come on forward. That is a blue, we're still in public hearing. Yeah, blue number. Yeah, just leave it there, ma'am, yeah.
Hi, my name is Yesenia.
You could just move the mic down. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My name is Yesenia Villamil. I am actually a resident just really close by to that new construction. And I remember when we moved here in 1999, it was a vacant lot. And I'm excited that something's happening there finally. However, I do have to also say within that time frame from 1999 till now, the traffic flow on Bellflower Boulevard is horrible, and it gets worse and worse and worse. If you try to exit and make a left from Matt Street, Borson Street, you're gonna hit oncoming traffic coming off the freeway and then also traffic coming this way. So it makes it literally impossible to make a left turn on that street. And so I wanna know is, seeing that these big businesses that drive a lot of people to them, we're right off the freeway right there. So I wanna know, because we're not only gonna be serving Downey, because Firestone is inside the city. It's mainly there to serve us that are in the Downey, but this is also going to bring in people from the outside. That people are driving down the freeway that, hey, I want a burger. And that's exactly why I have to ask, what is the city of Downey doing to protect my little street from all the incoming traffic? Because what I have noticed as well is that we have Laco on this end, and then we also have Kaiser. And I know as a commuter that if I need to get to my job in 5 minutes and I have a bottleneck at Imperial and Bellflower, I'm gonna take a side street to get there, and Borson Street happens to be that side street. And I have seen an onslaught of new people just driving there. And not only that, but Kaiser parks their cars on our street when they have their strikes. And so I want to know what has been placed to just protect that particular street, because we do have children, and people turning on that street have hit my father's car twice, my sister's car twice, and there's nothing that has been done there to protect the people that one lonely residential street that sits there, because everything else is blocked off. As soon as you get off of Bellflower Boulevard, this street right here is blocked. So they are not affected by any of that oncoming traffic. But Borson has not been addressed at all. So I just would like to know if anything has been planned or put into place to protect that residential street. Thank you.
We're asking. And your Borson, that's right, is just south of this location off of Bellflower.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the first street, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a building there, like a retail building where,
Here's the Boys Burger.
right.
And it's right there.
Okay.
So then there's Dalen Street and Borson. And Borson, if you just go a little bit further off, here's the entrance to the freeway. And I would like to know if there's going to be a neon sign that's going to be right off that freeway, because that will also bring in more people off the freeway to that street. So
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Your time is up, but I appreciate it. I'm going to ask staff on there, how would you like to answer that? I can answer it differently.
I would have our Public Works staff member, Tim, provide some insight on the traffic analysis, being that this is one of the side streets further south from the site. I know that the traffic impact analysis looked at surrounding areas and looked at what the key flows would be for ingress and egress into the site. And I also know that there's other types of street work planned in the city. So if I could have, I don't know if right now during public hearing
Sure.
would be the time, yes?
But you're right. It has been talked about, we don't have all the answer. Could you, Alfonso, could you put up the queue thing on the street? And the only reason I want to show that is because they can't turn left off of Bellflower, ma'am. And like I said, those are valid concerns for you, and thank you for coming. Any one of those, just stop on there, one of those. Do the ones with the egress and the ones before. Okay, that's a good one here. Go back, there we go. Okay, no, go back to the ones that show going in and out on the no, one or two more. Okay, this is good, because you can see the side entrance here on the right side, ma'am. You live just south of that building there, and so forth. You can only go right off when they're leaving there. They can't go left on there because there's a medium there in the middle, and the same thing up here. It would have to be somebody going northbound on Bellflower and literally making a U-turn at the corner to turn around. They can't go into that queue there, make a left-hand turn off of Bellflower. But I'll let the staff answer that. But those are valid thoughts, ma'am.
That is correct. The left turn, the medians restrict the left turn movements. But that said, we frequently review these types of issues that are brought forth by residents. So, I mean, us in the traffic division, we'd be more than happy to look at some possible traffic calming measures or other measures that we could implement on Downey to alleviate some of the residents' traffic concerns.
How far does the medium go down there? Is there a better one that shows all of that there? That shows another view. There was one that was the actual footage. Maybe go back, sir. Okay, so there's the building there. So you live just south of this, where that little green thing is on the bottom of this page, right? That would be...
Chair Guerra, I think the median ends just north of Dalen, which is the first west-east street, right below at the end of that median. And then there's also, I wasn't sure if the resident lived on Dalen and Borson, but Borson, that's what I thought I heard. The Borson is the next southerly street away from Imperial. So that's the second.
Are we allowed
side
to turn
street.
left into the other burger place?
Yes,
you are.
Okay, you are. So that queue there doesn't go on there. So you live just south of that? Okay, all right.
We get a lot of overflow from the Kaiser facility. So we get a lot of traffic just speeding by our street. and on Dayland Street, just because when traffic does back up, being on, making a left towards Imperial, that's a two-way. There's a U-turn allowed, but a lot of people do not know how to make that U-turn.
Sure.
So it backs up traffic because of people making U-turns, just in general, because it's right off the freeway, right off of the 605 and the 105. So it's a very congested freeway, street Bellflower going,
Sure.
it would be north, right? So that's our biggest concern, because a lot of people do use our street, Borson Street and Dayland Street as a way to bypass that traffic. Being that the fact that there's only going to be access to in and out through Imperial, that's going to cause a lot of people to use our street as a faster way of getting there, instead of taking the U-turn or making the left-hand turn and then making a U-turn. So, it's going to cause traffic for us. And on top of that, we don't have a sidewalk on our street. So anybody that's walking on the street is already walking, dangerously walking on the street, no sidewalks. So we can't walk our dogs, we can't do anything like that without having to go to the main street. So our street as it is, it's the only street there. And we have trouble with cars getting clipped, all that stuff. So that's our biggest concern at this time.
Okay. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. Mr. Luna, could you do me a favor? Could you go back to the
My favorite one with the blue and gold.
The blue one more time, please.
Yeah. There, that one. No,
Yes,
no,
I would
there
like
you
to
go.
pinpoint to our resident that made those comments. Sir, there will be an entrance on Imperial and another one on Bellflower.
Correct.
So we have both,
Yes.
not just the Imperial.
No, that's my point. But if people are making the U-turn,
Yes, sir.
If you go by there,
Yeah.
in order to make a U-turn, you have to make it really wide.
Sure,
Understood.
sure.
A lot of
No,
people make it short, sharp, and that backs up traffic. It's
Understood.
a way for a car.
I've-
So no matter which way you look at it, it's going to cause, it already backs up.
Sure.
North. So this is just going to cause more.
yeah.
Chair, we're not able, if we could record public comment,
Yeah,
that would
no,
be
I was just going
ideal.
to say,
Thank
we're
you.
out of line now. You guys are nice people and valid concerns, and we're trying, but the 3 minutes were up, and we really shouldn't be doing this part, but we understand that. So,
And
yes, sir, go ahead. Yeah.
from the Public Works traffic side of things, we'll initiate a traffic speed study. We have city-owned counters. We can have our staff place them on Dahlin and Borson and look at what those impacts
Okay,
are actually
great.
occurring on that street.
So that's a little bit of answer. We'll check that out. And then number two, I wanted to make sure we're clear. There's nothing in this we're approving, and there's no plans to put any digital boards, signage on the freeway. So I want to make sure we answer that. 'Cause, yeah, I knew that, but I just wanted to confirm it from staff.
Yeah, from the sign package that we received preliminary from In-N-Out, there are no digital boards proposed for the site, only monument signs and wall signs, which is the wall signs attached to the building.
I knew. Thank you. Just wanted to answer that. Okay. Is there anybody else on there that would like to, is there anyone that would speak in favor or opposition to it? Okay. Does the applicant, do you want to rebuke that at all, or are you guys good with our discussion? Okay, all right. Okay, this is the time for us and final and last question of the applicant before we close the public hearing. Anything? I see nobody on the planning commission. So the public hearing is now closed. So now it's time for our planning commission to deliberate. And I want to facilitate any discussion, ask any clarification questions. Any questions that would be answered by the applicant require a reopening of the public hearing, which would also open the public hearing for anyone else to speak on there. But what is the pleasure of the planning commission on this time? Do you have any final comments? And then maybe I'll ask for a motion after any final comments.
I have
Okay.
a clarification question.
Yes, sir.
On attachment C, see it from here.
Could you give us
shows the conceptual-
Commissioner Saikali, could you give us the page number,
105.
Thank you.
So on that page shows, and I can't see it very clear, but I did see it enlarged on the screen earlier. The Bellflower Boulevard is a 2-lane in each direction. And the concern that I have is just, or clarification, is first of all, are they allowed to make a U-turn if you're traveling northbound to go back south? And if that's the case, what's the issue if there's any parking on the westerly side of the street? Is it going to hinder any traffic? Also, it shows on the southbound 2-lane with a 6-foot gutter and a sidewalk. I don't see any 3rd lane, unless this is incorrect. Maybe clarify that for me.
So to clarify the question, on Bellflower Boulevard, there is no parking allowed. So parking is, the 2 lanes on Bellflower traveling south are for free-flowing traffic. There are signs on Bellflower for no parking. U-turns are currently allowed at the intersection. So if you're heading north on Bellflower and you want to make a U-turn to go back down south on Bellflower, they are currently allowed, yes. It is a tight U-turn. I believe the traffic study recommended 30 feet for the wide to make that U-turn without doing a 3-point turn. So that improvement would satisfy that request of the minimum of the 30 feet. I hope that answers your question.
Well, my second clarification question is the 6-foot wide gutter. Is that a 6-foot wide gutter that I'm seeing here, looking at on page 105?
Tim from Public Works, do you know the answer?
As they're looking at that, maybe I just thinking that this might be showing existing conditions, but I think we're going to verify the site plan.
I'm not seeing the gutter you're referring to.
It's on the westerly side going southbound.
You wanna?
There's a couple of arrows, a few arrows showing down here, that right there. What is that?
It's kind of fun to see these things.
So we will have the additional southbound lane on Bellflower, and then the proposed condition shows a 14-foot sidewalk, and there's a small drainage inlet that then diverts out to Bellflower, but it's not a 6-foot drain.
Oh, what is it? Is that a cross gutter? Thank you.
On Bellflower? No. Well, this is the only drainage that we have here.
Oh, yeah. That was Dell, right? Yeah.
I think the 8-foot sidewalk right away.
Find out.
It's in their packet. Yeah, there's an 8-foot sidewalk.
What was the year again?
Chair Guerra, also, if it's, we could also have the applicant's team explain further their traffic.
So you want me to
person
open up
also.
the public hearing
Yeah.
again? Okay.
If you, I think if it warrants further clarification between our team and their team, I think there could be a quicker clarification.
Okay. I will open up the public hearing to get clarification on that at this point to Commissioner Cycle's question.
I handed our C30 site exhibit printed on a larger paper, 11 by 17. So along Bellflower, there's an 8-foot sidewalk, a 14-foot wide right-hand turn deceleration lane, along with the 2 southbound throughput lanes. So that's depicted on that larger plan. If Abraham or the city engineer could share it with you, I think it would make it a lot more clear as to what's proposed.
Good. Thank you. Oh, okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Can I keep this?
You can keep it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing again. So public hearing is now closed. Any other questions or thoughts at this time? Okay, my only comments on there before we vote on it or make it, I'll entertain a motion on there. I'm glad that you guys are coming. You're good corporate citizens. We appreciate your involvement in our community now. That location down there has been empty for 45, 50 years. The Jacqueline building literally deteriorated piece by piece. It's been an eyesore. It's been a crime-ridden corner because of homelessness and breaking down the chain link fence and everything else. So you're bringing that corner to life, and we couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. Excuse me, that you guys are coming in there. So I think it's going to be a great location for you. I think it'll take some air out of the other location, which we want that, and it looks like it's a great project. Our staff speaks very highly of it, and I think you guys have a new design team that they've been working with too, and appreciate that too. So with that, I'll be happy to make a motion that we approve PLN 2300141, the plan review and conditional use permit. We have a second on it.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion.
Chair, can I clarify that includes the revised conditions
Yes, the
presented?
3 errors, including the revised numbers on there. So, okay, our Planning Commission Secretary, Rhea, has put up our screen. So if at that time, everybody can vote, please.
Motion passed with a vote of 5-0.
Great. Congratulations and welcome your extended stay in Downey. Thank you for investing in our community.
At this point, could you share your secret menu that we could all enjoy?
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. So now's the time set aside for public hearing on PLN-25-00127. Does the Planning Commission Secretary have proof of publication?
Yes, I do.
Great. Will the Community Development Director introduce staff making the presentation?
Thank you. Tonight we have Lindsay Ortega from our planning consultant team presenting a PowerPoint. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Do I need to go through all of the slides to get to it? Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're sorry. Pick your favorite, and we'll go back to it. No.
Good evening. Hello, Chair Guerra and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Lindsay Ortega, and I will be presenting PLN 25-00127 to you today. Before you today is a request for approval of a conditional use permit to permit the operation of a 139,745 square foot entertainment center with arcade, bowling alley, indoor sporting activity area, and a restaurant with an ABC Type 47 on-premise sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages. A conditional use permit is required to permit on-premise sale of alcoholic beverages, commercial recreation, and arcades within the Stonewood specific plan. Although a commercial recreation facility use is not explicitly listed as a use permitted in the Stonewood specific plan, the specific plan does permit uses not specifically listed to be considered by the Planning Commission through a conditional use permit. Other commercial recreation facilities that operate at the Stonewood Center include the Galactic Challenge and Candyland Kids. The Stonewood Center is located on the north side of Firestone Boulevard between Lakewood Boulevard and Woodruff Avenue on a 63-acre site. The subject site is zoned Stonewood Specific Plan and has a general land use designation of general commercial. The subject site is surrounded by single-family residential to the north and east and commercial and office use to the south and west. The arcade with commercial recreation activities is proposed to occupy the old Sears department store, which closed in late 2021 at the Stonewood Center. Here's a view from the single-family residential, a view from Woodruff, and a view from Firestone, as it is today. The 139,745 square foot commercial recreation facility will offer approximately 400 arcade games, various commercial recreation entertainment activities, as well as a 44,665 square foot food hall with a Type 47 license for on-premise alcohol sales. The proposed hours of operation for the arcade, commercial recreation use, and restaurant are 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., Monday through Sunday, and the use is intended to serve as an entertainment center for all ages. Private rooms will be available for rent to host birthday parties, corporate events, and used for private karaoke rentals. And the private rooms will include TV, karaoke equipment, and feature a clear glass wall and door to ensure full visibility from common areas at all times. The first floor of the 3-story entertainment use includes a 16,472 square foot entertainment area, including the arcade, as well as the 44,665 square foot dedicated area to food preparation and food service, with some area used for office space and storage. There are 3 entrances on the first floor, a primary entrance from the parking lot facing Firestone Boulevard, a secondary side entrance from the northwest parking lot of Woodruff, off of Woodruff Avenue, and a main entrance from the mall that opens into the food hall area. When the mall closes at 10 p.m., a security grill gate will close access from the mall to the Round 1 facility. The second floor includes the 8 bowling lanes, 3 private room rentals, and 4 billiards tables. The bowling lanes, billiards tables, and arcade games can be used based on a pay-per-use basis. The third floor offers an additional arcade space, as well as signature feature of the entertainment center, called the Spocha, or the Sports Challenge Area, which serves as an indoor sports complex offering dodgeball, trampoline, ninja course, kids gym, basketball, indoor soccer, inline skating, pickleball, and batting cages. Entry into this portion of the facility will be permitted after checking in and completing the required waiver and paying the admission fee based on the length of time to access the area. This grants unlimited access for the specified timeframe to enjoy the different activities. The 44,665 square foot food hall is located on the first floor with access points into the main mall, and the food hall will offer a variety of Japanese food options with restaurant seating and a single bar located in the center of various restaurant options. The food hall will also serve as a central kitchen where food will be prepared, packaged, and distributed to Round 1 affiliated food hall locations throughout Southern California. All food will be prepared on-site by Round 1 employees, with service provided throughout the day and evening hours, and pickup for the central kitchen is to occur twice a week in the morning. However, the demand may grow. Pickups may also occur more frequently. Food will be distributed through the use of small refrigerated Sprinter vans. The Stonewood Specific Plan limits loading and unloading adjacent to residential uses to only occur between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Loading and unloading on Sundays and holidays adjacent to residential is not permitted, and a condition of approval has been added to reiterate the requirement from the specific plan. A Type 47 ABC license for on-premise sale and consumption of alcohol is proposed in conjunction with the restaurant and food hall. Alcoholic beverages may be purchased in the food hall restaurant area and may be consumed throughout the entire recreational facility. Consumption of alcohol will be monitored throughout the facility by way of an ID verification, and a curfew plan is proposed for the later hours of operation. A third-party security company will be utilized by round one, ensuring orderly conduct throughout the facility, including the purchase of food and alcohol. Previously, the Sears tenant space was calculated at a rate of 1 space per 200 square feet for the 143,427 square foot tenant space. This required 718 parking spaces. The proposed round one arcade would utilize approximately 45,000 square feet of tenant space towards the central kitchen and restaurant use, which is calculated at a lower rate of 1 space per 1,000 square feet, resulting in a reduction in required parking for the entire tenant space. Per the Stonewood specific plan, the commercial recreation facility would be classified as other commercial uses, which would require a 1 space per 200 square foot requirement, resulting in a total of 476 parking spaces for the commercial recreation use. In total, the proposed use would require 521 parking spaces. The Stonewood Center has 4,610 parking spaces, which are intended to serve all uses located at the shopping center. So as a result, the parking spaces currently on the site are sufficient to accommodate the new proposed use, because the use would require less parking than the original approved use. The Development Review Committee discussed and evaluated the project as it pertained to planning, police, public works, and building and safety matters, as well as fire. Two noteworthy conditions include all loading and unloading shall comply with the Stonewood specific plan, and that the operator shall implement a curfew plan that includes announcements over the store speaker 30 minutes prior to each curfew. The conditional use permit is categorically exempt from the review under CEQA guidelines section 15301 because it has been determined to not be a significant effect on the environment due to the proposed use being contained within an existing building and not resulting in an expansion of that building. On November 19th, 2025, the notice of pending public hearing before the Planning Commission was published in the Downey Patriot and was mailed to all tenants within 500 feet of the subject site. Staff, a memorandum was provided on the dais regarding some conditions of approval. There were 3 minor typographical errors to conditions 16, 23, and 50, and those are included, and also there are copies for the public to view. In addition, there is a minor change to condition approval number 8 that was not listed in that memorandum, and that relates to the hours of operation. The hours of operation in the staff report list 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., whereas the condition of approval says 12 p.m. to 2 a.m., so that should be changed to 10 a.m. To 2 a.m. And with that, staff concludes their presentation. We recommend to the Planning Commission approval of resolution number 25-4057 for conditional use permit that would allow the operation of a restaurant with ABC type 47, the arcade, and the indoor recreational area. And I'm available to answer any questions if there are any. And the applicant has their applicant representative, Jennifer Oden, here, along with the round one team.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I think the only question I had is I went by there today and it's all fenced off on the east side there. Is there construction or just interior construction going on, or demolition, obviously?
Yes, the applicant does have an approved demo permit, so demo work is ongoing right now.
Okay, great. So before I open the public hearing, call the applicant or their representative, be a time for any planning commissioners to disclose any pre-hearing site visits or any pre-hearing discussions you may have had about this project. So,
I have none.
well, I have a whole bunch. I've talked to, Councilmember Ortiz, and we are giddy about this on there now that we see the details, so maybe I'd have to disclose that part. You don't get a council member, he's a former chair of this planning commission sitting here, so anyway, so I will disclose that part. So thank you so much. Having no other questions for you. We appreciate you. So the public hearing is now open. Okay, so will the applicant or the representative please come forward to give testimony?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, Honorable Planning Commissioners. My name is Jennifer Oden. I am Round One's representative. I have the privilege of representing Round One, and I wanted to start by thanking, first of all, staff. It has been an absolute pleasure to work with your staff, and I know the Round One team feels the same. So the level of professionalism, response, and assistance throughout this project and availability has been second to none. So huge thank you to staff as part of this project and moving forward. I have with me, as you can probably see, and I'll ask all of them to stand up rather than introducing everybody one by one, but about 11 or so, I think, of us are here tonight from Round One, the Round One team, and this includes from executive vice presidents of operations to directors of licensing, directors of construction, directors of loss prevention, food hall, central kitchen, licensing managers. So this team is committed to the city of Downey, and Round One is committed to the city of Downey. And it's been an absolute pleasure, as I mentioned, to work with staff. So if we have specific questions, we got the people to answer them, that's for sure. So it's just how important it is that they're coming into the city of Downey and how excited Round One is for that. I appreciate Lindsay's staff report. I think it was, just as throughout this process has been, extremely thorough, included absolutely everything that we would want to hit on. And I don't have much in response to give my own report because Lindsay's was so fantastic. I just wanted to highlight, Round One is a family-oriented entertainment company. They have roughly 60 locations here in the U.S., a global presence actually with about 150 worldwide. The hours would be the 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. The vision from Round One really is everyday fun for everyone, everywhere. So it's a place for the family. It's a place for coworkers. It's a place for friends to gather. They're very buttoned up with respect to their security policies and procedures. Take all of those items very seriously. There's ID verification when it comes to, of course, the on-site sale, service, and consumption of alcoholic beverages in conjunction with the restaurant and food hall space. There's surveillance cameras. They are a responsible, professional, committed ABC licensee at this location, certainly will be at this location, and all of their others. All of their employees, managers are responsible beverage service trained. There's 70, roughly, I think it's 69 conditions in the approval, all of which, every single one of them, agreeable to the team. So we look forward to working with the city of Downey. Round One certainly does, and we're available for any questions. But again, a huge thank you to the city and staff. It's been a pleasure, and we're excited to get open.
Great. Thank you so much on there. This is a large site. Is this average for, thank you all for being here too. Is this an average size for the 140, 50,000 square feet?
Typically, within range, I would say. Come on up, Stevens.
Yeah.
Stephen's the director of construction.
Great.
I will say it's typical to be in a major retail, what used to be a major retail tenant of a mall, certainly.
Right. Okay.
Hi, good evening. So to answer that question, typically our stores, our traditional stores, ranges from about 45,000 to anywhere to 80,000 square feet. This one's slightly bigger because it does include our sports challenge complex, which requires additional square footage, plus the new food hall concept, and also the central kitchen portion that's included on the first floor.
So Downey's kind of special for you guys too then, right?
It is a very special store.
You add them all together. What is your, how many, well, again, I guess it's hard to compare, but how many people do you have at one time on one of your, best locations kind of thing? I'm just kind of curious how many people will be inside there.
So right now, currently our best location is actually our first store over in City of Industry. And usually on weekend nights, we'll have Friday, Saturday night, 400 people. Yeah.
Okay, great. And I don't want to ask any proprietary questions on there, but how much of an investment are you guys putting into Downey on this location?
It's a lot.
What's that?
It's a lot.
Okay. Give us a round number. Go within 20%, so that way you're not giving us any detailed information.
It goes into 7 figures.
Okay, all right, good. Well, we want to brag about you, so anyways.
It will be our biggest project out of all of our portfolio, so.
Great. Well, Downey's pretty special, so we're glad you nice noticed that. No, I'm kidding. I mean, we are, but any questions from the rest of our commissioners here?
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned serving alcohol until closing time, or do you plan to stop the alcohol consumption, let's say 1 hour before closing time?
Typically, we cease alcohol operation 1 a.m. or 1:30. 1:30, last call being 1.
Okay. Thank you.
What would be, if we approve this tonight, what would be the time frame?
We're actually currently in building permit review.
Right.
So whenever you guys give us the building permit, we'd love to get started.
Okay, all right. So I see you threw it back at us. I get it on there.
I did want to say too, we're aiming, Steve and I spoke about this ahead of time, we're aiming for spring of 2026 as well. So, but the sooner, as staff mentioned, you know, the building permits, we're underway.
So I mentioned to them outside that if we approve this tonight, by Monday, we should be open there. So
we'll try our best.
You know, great. Commissioners, any other questions?
I just have a comment. I've lived in Downey for 60 years, and I wish we had such a facility when I was growing up. We really didn't. We had a skaterama, if anybody even remembers that. That was about the most fun that we could do as kids. And I also love this concept because it's not only for kids and teens, it's for adults, and so many people and families can come and just within the 3 stories be totally entertained and dine and just have a great time. So I think it's a wonderful project to bring to Downey, and I thank you for bringing this to Downey.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's exactly what Downey wants and Downey needs, in my opinion, on there. So yeah, we're excited about it, sir.
Thank you, Chair Guerra. I have 2 quick questions and 1 quick comment. You mentioned the term center kitchen concept. So will you explain that concept a bit? And how many locations will you be cooking and or delivering to roughly by using the Downey Center as a location?
So just to explain the central kitchen portion first. So this location, Downey, actually has the other component, the food hall stores. So we partnered with restaurants in Japan. So we're bringing them over. We sent some of our staff over there trained. They're going to prep the food in the central kitchen location, at least 80% of it. And then the final 20% will be finished off at each food hall location. And as for the food hall locations, there's roughly about 10 in plant right now, all over Southern California. So that's the central kitchen and the food hall relationship.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you for that.
Sir, it's also PC at 376. It mentioned that. That's why we call it the flagship, because I guess it's 80% of the food. So,
yeah. Excellent. Approximately, how many folks do you see? How many employees do you see perhaps hiring within our local community to service this?
Are you talking about the entire?
Just the location, the Downey location. Roughly, how many people you see?
Yeah, 100 employees actually.
That's great. That's impressive. Thank you. And the last comment is welcome to Downey. I'm glad you selected Downey. We needed you, and welcome. Thank you.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you.
The closest thing to fun we had the roller skating growing up, and we had the Farrells.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 go-to places that we used to take dates to, and now there's an alternative. I'll take my 40-year married wife with me there.
We have a 7, 8, and 9-year-old at home. They will be customers. Thank you.
We appreciate your support.
Okay.
I have a comment. Just one of the things in Downey, soccer is a huge sport for our youth here. The city has a couple areas that we use it for AYSO club, And definitely, I think saw in the pictures, it looks like it's a futsal court.
Correct.
Southgate has futsal courts out there, and so a lot of our kids' families go over there. Hopefully, you can maybe put 2 courts instead of 1. I know that's something that is thrown out here now. You got all your plans, but just to say, soccer is huge here in Paramount.
Yes.
In Downey. Sorry, I work in Paramount, but definitely it can create more because AYSO is like over 2,000 kids playing. Club, I don't know. There's different club teams here. That's huge. So that's something that just to take in account as well. So.
Just so the second and third floor will include the Sports Challenge complex, and we will have over 30 amenities, 30 different types of amenities that people could enjoy. So, and futsal or dodgeball is in the same court, but that is one of the amenities that we provide.
Okay.
I agree with you, Mr. Lujan. I think that soccer court's going to be full all the time in there, so we have that. Okay, having known that, thank you so much. Appreciate it. May staff confirm if there's any other correspondence in favor or opposition?
Staff did receive one correspondence yesterday from a resident that lived on Cecilia, just north of the Stonewood Center. The concern was security for inside the premise and outside the premise. Staff did explain that after approval, security plan will be submitted to PD, so they'll work together to fulfill those security requirements in addition to the on-site security provided by Stonewood.
Okay.
And that seemed to alleviate her concern.
I read the report. It said something about the security and everything else on there, so good. Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor or opposition of the applicant? Okay, seeing no one, there's no rebuttal, so I will now close the public hearing. Is now closed. So, commissioners, we've all showed our enthusiasm for this, and any other discussions, or we'll make a motion that we accept this on there. I got to read it out loud. PLN -25-00127. Okay.
I make a motion to adopt PLN -25-00127.
I made the motion. I think
with the
you're
errors.
seconding
Do
it.
we have to mention the errors or?
Yes, please.
With the additional revisions on there, yeah. So
Okay.
I want to take a picture of the final vote. Okay, anything else on there? Why don't we go ahead and vote then? I want to leave it up there, Rhea. I want to take a picture of the vote, because on opening day, we're going to say, hey, we were there. All right, yeah.
Motion passes with a vote of 5-0.
Wait. There we go, okay. Thank you. Welcome to Downey, and let us know what else we can do as a community to help you out. But we're excited for you. I think you saw the enthusiasm, and we're ready, and congratulations. Thanks for investing in Downey.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. You know what's interesting, by the way, just while they're leaving, the other day, I met with the Stonewood Mall manager, and this planning commission, we approved that store like really close by to them where they're going to be at, the one with the grabbers, that had all the grabbers and so, and they're, what's it called? Yeah, something closet, and they're doing really well. Okay, I gotta go check it out, but then we approved that too, so. All right, so we are now, does the Planning Commission, we are now opening for public hearing PLA N-25-00135. Does the Planning Commissioner, Planning Commission Secretary Rhea have proof of publication?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. Will the Community Development Director introduce staff making the presentation?
Thank you, Chair Guerra. Tonight we have our Associate Planner, Marissa Montero, who will be reviewing the PowerPoint with you. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, Chair Guerra, Vice Chair Uva, commissioners, and members of the audience. The item before you is PLN-25-00135 and PLN-24-00084, a project at 9305 Firestone Boulevard for a Rebel Shell gas station. This is a request for the demolition of the existing 2,300 square foot fuel canopy and a 200 square foot convenience store, and the construction of a 2,400 square foot convenience store with a Type 20 off-sale beer and wine liquor license, a new 2,021 square foot canopy over 8 fuel pumps, and the retention of an existing drive-through car wash with other site improvements. The following entitlements are requested as part of this application and require review and approval by the Planning Commission. First is a site plan review for all new structures and site improvements. The second is a conditional use permit for liquor stores and other off-sale alcohol establishments.
Montero?
Yeah.
Sorry, I
yes.
think we're going to take a quick pause, maybe about a couple minutes.
Okay.
And then I think we're going to ask you to maybe go to the previous slide.
Yes, of course.
Let me see, was it just one other slide? Yeah.
This one? A
If we
little
can
break.
just take a pause, and if we can mute our mics, I would
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll just go ahead and start from the beginning. So the item before you is PLN-25-00135 and PLN-24-00084 at 9305 Firestone Boulevard for a Rebel Shell gas station. This is a request for the demolition of the existing 2,300 square foot fuel canopy and 200 square foot convenience store, and the construction of a 2,400 square foot convenience store with a Type 20 off-sale beer and wine liquor license, a new 2,021 square foot fuel canopy over 8 fuel pumps, and retention of an existing drive-through car wash with other site improvements. The following entitlements are requested as part of this application and require review and approval by the Planning Commission. The first is a site plan review for all new structures and site improvements, a conditional use permit for a liquor store and other off-sale alcohol establishments in the C1 zone, and a variance for a deviation from one physical development standard. The project site is located on the northeast corner of Firestone Boulevard and Woodruff Avenue on a 21,780 square foot parcel that is currently developed with a 2,300 square foot fuel canopy, a 200 square foot convenience store, and an 874 square foot drive-through car wash. The convenience store is located underneath the fuel canopy. The Planning Commission first approved the service station through zoning exception case number 228 in 1961, which authorized the establishment, operation, and maintenance of a service station with pump islands. In 1982, the site was redeveloped to its current configuration with a new fuel canopy, fuel pump islands, a convenience store, and updated site layout. The existing drive-through car wash was later approved by the Planning Commission in 1996. The slide shows 2 photos of the existing site, one taken at the southeast corner of the property along Firestone Boulevard and the other taken at the northwest corner of the property along Woodruff Avenue. The subject property is zoned C1 Neighborhood Commercial and has a general plan land use designation of general commercial. The surrounding area is a variety of different zones and land use designations. To the north is single family and multifamily residential. To the east is single family residential and neighborhood commercial. To the south is general commercial, specifically the Lakewood Firestone specific plan. And to the west is general commercial and the Stonewood specific plan. Now moving on to the first application request, a site plan review. On this slide, you can see the proposed site plan that features the new 2,400 square foot convenience store, a new 2,021 square foot fuel canopy with 8 fuel pumps, and the existing drive-through car wash. The configuration of the site provides safe and efficient circulation for both vehicles and pedestrians.
I'm sorry, real fast on there. How many are there now? I know this is 8 pumps. How many were there before? I know the size was 200 square feet versus 2,400, but I don't remember how many. There was 8, and this is going to continue to be 8? Okay.
I remember reading.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I think we can look into it and get back to you.
Yeah, it's not urgent. I just wanted to see how many we had now.
So the drive aisles have been designed with adequate width to accommodate vehicles accessing the fuel pumps, the car wash, and the convenience store. The new site layout also includes circulation enhancements for the existing car wash, adding a queuing lane of 6 vehicles to enter and 2 vehicles to exit. To further promote safety throughout the site, the drive-through car wash exit will also include a stop sign and a speed bump to reduce the potential for collisions for vehicles exiting the car wash and vehicles entering the site from Firestone Boulevard. The site will also include a new trash enclosure, 9 parking spaces, and a combination air-water vacuum unit. The proposed site layout has been designed to comply with all applicable development standards of the C1 zone, as well as standards related to drive-through services and service stations. On the screen, you can see various development standards that we've analyzed for compliance. There are two annotations. Annotation A for the front setback and the rear setback for the landscape setback signifies that portions of the front landscape and the rear landscape that are, portions of the front setback and rear setback that are not landscaped are because of approved drive aisles meant to support circulation, which is permitted in the DMC. Annotation B signifies that the rear setback is not met. However, the applicant has requested a variance, which is included in this application and will be discussed in the variance section of this presentation. The proposed development incorporates a contemporary architectural design for the new convenience store, new fuel canopy, and existing car wash. The convenience store building features a combination of high-quality materials, including stone veneer, board and batten siding, standing seam metal roofing, and fiber cement trim, creating visually appealing and durable facade. The drive-through car wash exterior will also be renovated to match the same materials and architectural style of the new convenience store. The fuel canopy incorporates a standard shell corporate design package and utilizes the same stone veneer as the convenience store. The proposed landscape plan includes a mixture of native and drought-tolerant plant materials, including a variety of trees, shrubs, and ground cover. Existing queen palms will be retained and supplemented with additional palms. Ground cover will consist of the plants included on the slide. And portions of the convenience store facade will also feature a red trumpet vine going up this portion of the facade and this portion of this facade. So, right here along the western facade and then right here along the southern facade. This slide shows a rendering of the site with the landscaping from Woodruff Avenue. So moving on to the next application request, a conditional use permit, which is required to allow the off-sale of beer and wine, a type 20 ABC license, within the proposed 2,400 square foot convenience store. The beer and wine display area, highlighted in red on the floor plan in this top corner, will occupy 8.6% of the sales floor. The convenience store includes a walk-in cooler located at the rear of the building. There will be 2 cooler doors totaling approximately 16 square feet and a 95 square foot customer accessible beer cave within the cooler. In total, approximately 111 square feet of the sales area will be dedicated to beer and wine. The convenience store is proposed to operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but the sale of alcohol will be prohibited between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. The applicant expects there will be 3 to 4 shifts per day with 1 to 5 employees per shift, depending on the site needs. To ensure responsible retail operations, employees will undergo training in customer service, personnel management, facility operations, responsible retailing of alcohol and tobacco, and workplace safety.
Can I ask a question on there? So what do we estimate the alcohol sales to be at this location? Do we have a number?
A percentage of their sales?
Percentage of their sales, yeah.
I think that's a question for the applicant to answer, yes.
Okay. And how about, I'd ask the same thing. I mean, they currently have permission to sell tobacco now, right? So that's not new, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Additionally, an additional security measure, cash registers will include hard stops to ensure age verification prior to completing any alcohol or tobacco sale. And just for reference, these are interior photos of other Rebel convenience store locations. So you can see that they offer a variety of goods and, services like a coffee. Oops, I went too far. Like a coffee station. Okay. The last application request is a variance from DMC section 9314.06A, a development standard which requires structures in the C1 zone to maintain a 46-foot rear setback when adjacent to a residential zone. So the parcel to the north of the subject site, outlined here, this rectangular parcel, is zoned residential, but has a general plan land use designation of general commercial. The residential zone is inconsistent with the general commercial land use designation. It is also currently developed as a commercial parking lot for a nearby business, the Wells Fargo. So this is a parking lot for this Wells Fargo building. And this is the this is the parcel that is zoned residential currently, but has a general plan land use designation of general commercial. For reference, this other parcel highlighted in yellow is the nearest residential use to the subject site, and there's a 55-foot distance between the subject property and the nearest residential use. So the need for the variance results from the adjacent sites' existing inconsistencies between zoning and the general plan, not from any action by the applicant. Other similar commercial properties on Firestone meet the increased 46-foot rear setback requirement when immediately adjacent to residential uses. Applying the residential rear setback standard in this situation would impose an unnecessary constraint that is inconsistent with the existing and intended commercial character of the area. The project does maintain an 18-foot rear setback, which exceeds the 15-foot setback required when a commercial property is adjacent to another commercial property in the C1 zone. Thus, granting the variance does not confer a special privilege, but instead aligns the site's treatment with surrounding commercial development and the general plan's intended land use pattern. The Development Review Committee discussed and evaluated the project as it pertained to planning, police, fire, public works, and building and safety matters. All departments issued conditions of approval related to the proposed site improvement and Type 20 ABC license. Staff has reviewed the proposed project for compliance with CEQA and determined that the project is exempt from review under CEQA Guidelines Section 1503, Class 3, new construction or conversion of small structures. On November 20th, the notice of the pending public hearing before the Planning Commission was published in the Downey Patriot and mailed to all tenants and property owners within 500 feet of the subject site. As of the date that this report was published, staff has received a letter of opposition with 18 signatures expressing concerns regarding the proposed Type 20 off-sale beer and wine liquor license, which has been provided to you on the dais, and I'll explain a little bit here in this slide. So this slide really summarizes the concerns outlined in the opposition letter staff received on December 2nd. The letter states that the city is oversaturated with 67 off-sale ABC licenses. An additional license would result in a concentration of licenses, which would require the applicant to demonstrate that public convenience or necessity would be served by the issuance of another license. They also state that there is already an existing Type 20 license for an ARCO AM/PM on Lakewood Boulevard, located within the same census tract as the subject property. They also provide 3 nearby liquor retailers along Firestone Boulevard as evidence of overconcentration. The letter also states that issuing the license would cause public safety concerns contrary to public welfare. And finally, the license would generate many more traffic trips, thereby causing greater congestion and risk of accidents on Firestone Boulevard. Additionally, stating that an exhaustive traffic study was not conducted. So staff reviewed the concerns in the letter and found the following on the slide. Oversaturation is determined by a census tract. So a public convenience or necessity, or in short, a PCN, is only required when the specific census tract in which the project site is located is oversaturated with ABC licenses. The addition of one more off-sale license in census tract 5510.01, where the subject site is located, would not exceed the ABC permitted threshold. While the three businesses mentioned in the letter are in close proximity, all three are located in another census tract, 5511.02. Because overconcentration is evaluated by census tract, these operators do not create an oversaturation for the proposed site. Regarding the concern for public welfare, staff had discussions with our police department, and based on that, Census Tract 5510.01 is not classified as a high crime area, meaning there's no crime-related basis that would trigger the need for a PCN. The site's primary use will continue to, regarding the comment about increased traffic, the site's primary use will continue to be a service station with a drive-through car wash. The new convenience store will be an ancillary use that is not anticipated to significantly increase traffic. And finally, the floor area dedicated to the display of beer and wine is less than 9% of the total floor area of the convenience store. Additionally, resolution number 25-4058 includes several conditions of approval that address concerns presented in the letter, including alcohol sales limitations, no alcohol advertising on windows or exterior walls, no loitering signs posted on the site. There will be security cameras and recordings, and there will also be a panic and hold-up alarm system. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt resolution number 25-4058, approving PLN-25-00135 and PLN-24-00084 for the construction of a 2,400 square foot convenience store with a Type 20 liquor license, a new 2,021 square foot fuel canopy over 8 fuel pumps, and retention of an existing drive-through car wash and other site improvements located at 9305 Firestone Boulevard. This concludes staff's presentations. I'm available for any questions. We also have the applicant's team available here tonight. We have that is also available for questions. We have Jennifer Oden, the attorney for the attorney and applicant representing for the liquor license, Florentino Mendoza, the architect and part of the design team, and Summer Irevsh, the chief administrative officer.
Thank you so much for that. Does the Planning Commission have any questions, any further questions of staff? Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before I open the public hearing and call the applicant or the representative, this would be a time for the Planning Commission to disclose any pre-hearing site visits or having pre-hearing discussions the commissioners may have had about this project.
I have none, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I visited there today and drove around quite a bit, and I never knew there was a parking lot for Wells Fargo back there. Okay, lived here my entire life and didn't know that. Didn't know I can get out on Firestone that way too. Now I know. Okay, great. So the public hearing is now open. Will the applicant or the representative please come forward to give testimony?
Good evening. I have the pleasure of addressing you twice tonight. Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, Honorable Planning Commissioners, I'm absolutely going to say it again because that presentation by Marissa was fabulous, as has been our experience in working with this project with staff. So thank you again to staff. I wanted to highlight, because sometimes this doesn't always come across in these presentations. So the owner applicant of this premises existing.
Wait, one second, Sure. Could we take this down, the public comment, because we're not there, we're still into the applicant? I don't consider this public comment. I mean, don't we leave the camera on when we have the applicant, or no? Okay.
Ma'am, and just to clarify, before you continue, you are here now representing this applicant, is that correct?
Correct. My office has had the pleasure of representing the Anabi family, which is the point I was just about to get to. Thank you, Vice Chair. Excuse me, Commissioner Legaspi, looking different areas. So yes, RADC Enterprises, Inc. is the applicant, a corporate entity, but I want to be clear, this is a family-owned, operated location. Sam Anabi is the president of RADC Enterprises. My office, as I mentioned, has had the privilege of representing Mr. Anabi and his family for a number of years. Just about 2 years ago, the family purchased this location, and as a part of this site plan, variance, and conditional use permit, the family intends to invest roughly $5 to $6 million into that site. Mr. Anabi has been the owner-operator of Anabi Oil, or RADC Enterprises, for a number of years now, and has grown that company into the success it is today. Summer is here as the Chief Administrative Officer, and she happens to be Sam's sister, of course, as I mentioned, a family-owned and operated location. Sam actually started Anabi Oil and the gas station business in 1991, and it was after his career as a law enforcement officer. So on Sam's team, when it comes to any of his locations, he takes public safety, welfare, very, very seriously. He comes from a law enforcement background by trade. So we also do have present as well directors of loss prevention, security, risk management, also with law enforcement backgrounds. So all of the conditions in the conditional use permit approval with respect to security cameras, panic alarm buttons, these are things that happen as common practice for Mr. Anabi's locations, and of course are agreeable here. There's 50+ conditions, all of which are agreeable. So this would be, like I said, a $5 to $6 million investment into this site as the Anabi family has purchased the location. The conditional use permit aspect for the beer and wine is small in nature. Really, it's less than 10% of all total sales for beer and wine, and we're talking about 9% or less of the floor space, right? Roughly 100 square feet or so in that convenience store. So it's a very much an ancillary use, but it's a use that the Anabi family is accustomed to. They're professional, responsible owners, operators throughout the state of California. They have numerous locations and hold ABC licenses. They're trusted ABC licensees. Again, this is beer and wine only, not beer, wine, and distilled spirits, and a small offering located towards the rear of the store. Of course, there's age-restricted mechanisms in place, training, all of those things that take place with regard to the sale of beer and wine for off-site consumption. I did want to just hit on the opposition that was received, because unfortunately it came in the 11th hour, as this had been published in, I think, mid-November, roughly, as Marissa mentioned. And to date, there had been no comments in opposition. And as a result of the opposition, it was written by an attorney. If you've had the chance to read it, it's about 3 or 4 pages. It's broad legal strokes. And as Marissa so astutely pointed out, it's actually incorrect legal conclusions with regards to that public convenience or necessity. This site does not require the California State ABC public convenience or necessity determination. The census tract is not over-concentrated. So those conclusions were incorrect. The individuals that signed the letter, I don't know if any of them are present. There's certainly not 18 people behind me. So again, it read, I've been doing this for about 10 to 15 years, again, have had the privilege to represent the Anabi family. It read to me as if a potential competitor, a last-minute effort, right? There wasn't anything personal from any individuals other than signatures, but otherwise it was just broad legal strokes, again, which were unfortunately or fortunately incorrect. So I think there are enough conditions, in fact I know the owner operator and the policies, procedures, and attention to detail paid to security, public welfare at these locations, and we're happy to answer any of those questions, but we respectfully request that you approve the site plan, the variance, and the conditional use permit for the limited amount of off-site sale of beer and wine, so the Anabi family can invest tremendously in this community as well.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions from the Planning Commission to the applicant?
I do. The way I see the diagram of the layout, of the way it's all going to be, you're going to have to, it's a demolition. The gas tanks and all that are going to be down, they're going to be moved. Explain to me how that construction part of it's going to look and work.
Absolutely. And I'm going to bring up Florentino for that, the architect.
Only so much an attorney can get you, huh?
I didn't get my construction license.
So that's a good question to piggyback on you. On there, you're removing the gas tanks too? That's a good question.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Florentino Mendoza, representing Caracas Western States. We're the designer of this project site. So with regards to the underground storage tanks, actually there's a memo right now in all over California to replace old tanks. So this site, unfortunately, is one of those that has an old tanks that needs to be replaced for a more secure and double-walled tanks that we plan to replace on this site. And the proposal is actually to replace those old tanks with new double-wall modern tanks, and they're going to be located exactly almost at the same place as it is right now. So there's no other expansion or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Very good. Thank you. That answers my question.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, anybody else? Planning Commission? Any other questions on there? Okay, great. Will staff confirm, please, if there's been any correspondence besides the one that we have up here in favor or opposition?
Other than the letter you received, there has been no additional correspondence.
Okay, great. Is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition to the applicant's report? Okay, all right, see no one for rebuttal. So I'm kind of curious. So when I got this, and we all got it at the last minute and so forth, I'm looking at the residents in the streets there, and there's only one on Woodruff. I would think some of the objections would come next door to it. I think my point is that there's, all the other addresses they're pretty far apart. So maybe they have an issue with, just alcohol in general, and I can see, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt of why, but looking at the sales, you said it's less than 10% of the sales?
Correct.
Okay, all right. So as far as I'm concerned, I think those questions that were objections here were answered, especially the legal theories. I want to ask the staff on there, so how many licenses are we entitled to get? So this would be a new license for us, right? And I think we had availability for another license anyways, right?
Yes, I think as Marissa and others have mentioned tonight, I will further confirm that in this census tract, we've confirmed with ABC, and we have it in writing from the State Alcohol Beverage Control Office, that there's up to 2 licenses that can be assigned to this census tract. Currently, there is 1. This would be the second one, so for that reason, it's not deemed an overconcentration. It's within the limitations provided. And that's, we've, again, double and triple checked that just because it was questioned to us. Also, I just want to clarify that the correspondence before the Planning Commission is the petition in opposition from the attorney, along with some signatures and other exhibits in the back with references to other licenses that are not, again, within the census tract that's at this project site. And just to further clarify, the same correspondence was provided a second time to staff. It was a duplicate of the correspondence that's before you. The only difference is that there was a memo, a cover memo, a transmittal cover. But I just want to be clear that we did receive the same petition twice on 2 different times of the day. One towards the end of the day yesterday, and another one today via email transmittal. I think the person was just making sure that we received the correspondence, but I just, for the record, wanted to provide that clarification.
Okay. Thank you for that on there. I noticed some of those licenses, they're big markets, they're Amapola, and they're, several markets that we've seen on there and so forth. But I think the part that me personally is that the signees there, unless they have an objection to alcohol in general, this is less than 10% in sales, and nobody lives next door. Maybe one, I don't know where the person on Woodruff lives, but all those other streets are not even close. So those are my thoughts. Yeah, no, my last comment is on there, you're investing a lot of money in the city of Downey. This has been, that corner has always been kind of quirky, to say the least. It's hard and so forth, and I think, you're spending a lot of money there to invest in our community. I think with what you heard tonight with round one, I think you might get it all back. I think it's going to be a great location for the regular sales. I don't think 10% in alcohol sales is going to make or break you on there, but I understand as a businessman the concerns to maximize that. And you're going from 200 square feet to 2,400 square feet, and the designs look a lot better than what's there now. There's currently, I guess I asked the staff, so currently you can sell tobacco there, right? So, okay, so this is no different. I mean, you might sell more if it's a bigger place, but okay, all right, I'm not. I think
I
those
just
are
want to
my.
answer on the microphone because I think a couple of us nodded that yes, there's current tobacco sales at the location, so this would not be a new location.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it on there. Okay, so this would be the time to, any final comments or thoughts before I close the public hearing? You guys seeing that from questions for them? And then I'll go ahead and close the public hearing after that. Okay, I see none. So I will now, the public hearing is now closed. So Planning Commission, this is the time to deliberate on your thoughts and anything you want to say on the record about this. Okay.
Chair Guerra, I do have a question for staff, if I may.
Sure, of course.
Just if at this location, to anyone's knowledge, has our PD had any issues with this intersection, with this location, as far as crime, increase in crime, consistent issues, anything that has been not addressed at this point with the current operator?
Thank you, Commissioner Legaspi. To further clarify on some of the points that Ms. Montero brought up earlier about how this is not a high crime area, our statistician at the Downey Police Department did run an analysis of a 500-foot radius around the site and compared the crime stats for that area versus a larger area of the city, and so this is not considered a high crime area. This is, again, that's an item that we double and triple checked. I personally had a conversation with the police chief earlier today to review the concerns that were brought forth in the opposition letter out of an abundance of caution, and again, we have internally reviewed that data, so there's no concern to answer your question, there's no concern about any additional crime already existing, and for that reason, we don't believe this would be another impact. And also, just to add what Ms. Montero said, there's conditions of approval here that are quite extensive, and the security that's being aspect of it is also being considered in the conditions of approval.
Thank you, Ms. Victor. Ms. Montero did mention it, and she did elaborate on it, but it's great to hear directly from you, especially if you had a conversation with our chiefs. Yeah. Thank you for that.
It's interesting, the business next door, I still don't know what it is, but it was a nice office. It looked medical looking. I've never seen it. How many times I've come by there, I've never seen it. And you got the Wells Fargo and so forth. So that corner, the eyesore has always been the little hut in the middle there, and it's hard to get, it has been hard to buy a drink. You have to get out. And anyway, so this is a big improvement. So, okay, at this time, I'll entertain, yes, sir.
I have one question, staff, regarding the setback for the existing structure. How far is it right now?
Oh, it's quite a bit.
As opposed to the northerly property?
That's a good question. If you give me one moment.
I saw something about 15 feet, 15 and 18 feet in there.
To clarify, you're asking about the existing setback from, I'm sorry, the existing setback of the fuel canopy to the rear property line?
Yes.
Okay.
Could you just bring up the diagram on there in your presentation, because it showed some of the thing on there?
Yes, of
from the setback. And then the setback I think has to do, I don't know if it's all of it, but just the one side is the parking lot, right? And that was 55 feet, that I remember that.
Yes. So I want to get to this photo. So the existing setback from the, I'll point on the screen over here. This structure to the rear property line is about 48 feet currently.
And the new one's going to be a lot closer.
The new one will have an 18-foot setback
That's
to the
what I
rear
said.
property line.
Okay, I remembered, I saw the number 18 somewhere in there. And the car wash is going to be at the same location there?
Correct. The car wash will not, will only undergo exterior modifications to match the architectural style of the new building.
So that white building, that's the one I was talking about, I don't know what the use is. It's something, I don't know, it looked medical to me or something like that. But that one there, so that's already there, right? And the car wash is not, so that doesn't really impact it at all.
Correct.
Okay. And then there's 55 feet on the parking lot back there. So, okay.
Correct.
So does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. All right. So now, what is the pleasure of the Planning Commission? May I have a motion and a second?
Yeah, absolutely, Chair Guerra. I'll make a motion to accept staff recommendation and approve PLN 2500135 plus the additional items.
Okay. And then PLN, would you amend your motion to also include PLN-24-00084?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll
All right.
second it.
There's a motion in a second. Any further deliberations? Okay, please vote. Great. Thank you.
Vote of 5-0.
Passes unanimously.
Congratulations.
Thank you for investing in our community. We're glad you're here, and we look forward to. Curious, I know I can't. Well, I can ask out loud. What's the time frame on this? Okay. Okay. So within the next year. So you're going to open right around the time that round one opens, kind of thing. Okay.
I just heard from the architect, we're hoping for June 2026 done with.
Oh, okay, that'd be great, thank you. All right.
Thank you all.
Okay, great. Any further comments on there from the Planning Commissioner, Community Development, or our birthday boy, Mr. Funk, our city attorney?
No, nothing from me, but thank you.
Well, happy birthday, sir. We're
very
happy
much.
for you, so, okay. And,
So were you guys celebrating your birthday across the restaurant or something?
Oh, he's going to go to In-N-Out Burger now.
I saw everybody following you with.
I was developing a
council
taste for
members,
I'll just
mayor.
add, just as an
I
aside.
was thinking, I did too. I'm serious. I'm probably going to go there. Could we, yeah, no kidding. We'll get in that long queue right now. Anyways, Irma, I'm sorry.
I'm going to keep it short. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the hard work of City Planning Division staff on these 3 items. These have been a lot of time invested, technical knowledge. These planners and other teams that you noticed from Public Works and other departments have gone to school, have loads of experience, and they've poured all that experience into bringing these other 3 projects to you. So I really want to commend their hard work, their passion for being very precise and being very responsive to the applicants, as you heard today. We are very, very focused on being not just saying we're business friendly, but just really being practical in what we do and being responsive and working through solutions when we need to. So I'm just very pleased with the staff, and I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. It was a long night. One last thing is there will not be another meeting in December. So the second meeting in December will not happen. Our next meeting will be January 6th. I want to wish everybody a great holidays on there. I enjoy working with every single one of you. We keep pushing the envelope forward. Our staff does a great job. If I can ask a favor, as soon as we finish here, if we can get the young man over there to take a photo of all of us up here there together. And I want to include our great team over there too. And so I want you in the photo, ma'am. That's why I only asked Kim on there, because he took the long break. Anyways, but just happy holidays to everyone. It's good to work with you guys, and we look forward to a great new year for the city of Downey.
Chair,
There is one matter of the consent calendar.
Oh, one second, I'm sorry.
We have the consent calendar.
Oh, we got to vote. Is that what you were saying too, Swati? Or no?
Thank you.
See, we were all saying goodbyes and happy-go-lucky on there. Okay, you watch. The consent calendar won't pass now. No. Do I get a motion and a second to pass the consent calendar, please?
So moved.
Okay. Second?
Second it.
I'll second.
Okay, great. We have a motion and a second on there. Please vote. You would have called us all back in here. Okay, 2 people, Elias and Hector. You got to vote on it. Okay, great.
Consent calendar passes with a vote of 5-0.
Yay. Okay, now we can adjourn down there for the holidays, and thank you all. So, and then wait a second. Can we get, yeah, hold on a second. Stay up here for a second. Let's get him. Will you come up here, sir, and be a photographer for us? I want it, but I want our staff in this too. So if you can just come from back there.
Oh, 1 minute just you guys and then add us?
We'll do both. No, we'll do it. Just do it from there. We're just gonna sit here. We're gonna sit here like we normally do.
Oh, we're gonna sit.
We're gonna sit like we normally do. You guys come up here. On there. Yeah, you guys come up here. Yeah, you can stay there so we get you in the front when you're normal on there.
Secretary.
No, you're not. It's like, but you're part of the team. I'm looking for a team.
You want you guys the commission alone?
We'll get one afterwards. We'll get the second one on there. No, you guys sit where you normally sit.
Oh, we said where we normally.